Alrighty guys, Copenhagen 18 back here with another video. And as you can see by the title, this is how I got started dipping. And first of all, shout out to Unsouthpaw 2013. He was my first subscriber, and he kind of gave me some tips on what to say since I ran out of things to say in the last video since it was my first video. And so going to be going and just going to put in some Copenhagen Wintergreen, and I'm going to crack this while I keep talking. And so then but anyways, how I got started was I went and I was down at my cousin's house, and my cousin dips, and we were out there in his garage, and he was rebuilding a motor for his sister's car. And so we were out in his garage, and then he's got this big tub that he puts all of his dip cans in. And so after he got done with that, with the motor, he went, because he was almost done with the motor, but so when he got done with it, he went into the house, and so I went and I grabbed a couple cans, and I went and I threw them out in the truck. And then we just stayed there for a little while that night. And then the next day, I went and he don't really clean his cans out too well. And so I went and I scraped a couple of them cans together. And there was a decent size pinch in for beginner. And so I went and so I was back, and I live on a farm, like I said, and I was back down by the field, and there was this, and so I was back there, and I just recently got my truck right before that, and all of a sudden I hear it start up, and it's pretty loud, and so I heard it start up, so I came up to the house, and I live with my grandparents, by the way. And so I went and here was my grandpa. And it's a little 5-speed and manual. And he went and he wanted to drive it. So we went and so I hopped in the passenger seat, and he didn't even notice. And so we went down to the field and stuff with it, just driving around, and we were checking to see if the corn was growing, since we just planted it. And then we were down there, and we were going and just driving around, and I was just kind of spitting out the window. And so that's pretty much how I got started dipping. But and then another question by Unsouthpaw 2013 was what's my favorite time to dip? I like to dip mainly at night before I'm ready to go to bed. And speaking of which, I'm going to go and throw in some Copenhagen Wintergreen, since I kind of forgot about that. And so, yeah. I kind of forgot. So, I'm going to go and just stick a small one in for now. Don't need nothing too big. And so, hold on, I gotta get something spinning. Okay, so, but, where was I? Oh, so my favorite time to dip. So, I mainly like dipping at night before I go to bed. Like, I like to dip, for an hour or two before I'm ready for bed. And that's just kind of me personally. But, I don't know. I think it helps me calm down to go to bed. And, so I like to, so for actually the time, around 10 o'clock So that way I got about an hour to dip or so. Sometimes 9:30, just depends. And, what do I like best about dipping? You know, I kind of just I like the taste of it. And, especially with wintergreen, it's kind of, I don't know, just something about it that I like. I don't really know. Probably like getting a buzz and stuff, but yeah. Then somebody might ask in the comments, what kind of truck do I have? Well, I bought it real cheap, and so it ain't nothing special. It's an old 1994 GMC S10 Sonoma. It's a little two-wheel drive. It's a 5-speed manual. It's kind of fun to just drive around in the field, But, and then another question was, who kind of got me going on dipping? Like, who inspired me? No one really inspired me. It was more or less, I wanted to try it. And so, but if I had to say somebody inspired me, probably be Outlaw. I'm assuming most of you who watch dipping videos know who Outlaw is. Probably 80-90% of you. And, I don't know, I've been watching him for a few years, and even though he dips, a lot, I never even really thought about dipping until recently, and I'm like, hey, this guy dips, a lot, and so I'm like, and he always talks about it, so I'm like, I'm gonna, I might try it, and so, and then I wouldn't really say I'm addicted. I've been dipping for a couple weeks, nothing too terribly long, I pretty much just got started here not too long ago. And then the other question is, what all dips have I tried? So, being that I just started not too long ago, I haven't tried very much. I've had wintergreen. I've only dipped one can of this, plus this one that I just opened. I've dipped a can of that, and I've had a pinch of straight from one of my buddies, and mint. I've had mint. I've had 2 cans of that. Yeah, I think that's it. Copenhagen winter.